Hashem Rakakodah. Shalom to the 144,000. The rest of you elect out there, shalom to you all. I'm going to entitle this video, Kenya is not the uttermost part of the earth. So that's from Acts 1 verse 8. Matter of fact, I will go up a couple of verses. Let's start the first verse. The former treaties have I made, O Theophilus. Let me click on that. That's supposed to be Luke. That was just what they called a pen name. The former treaties. Treaties are agreements, covenants, whatever you want to call it. So let's click on
Strong's G 2321. Theophilus. Theophilus.
Theophilus. Now it says here, Theophilus equals friend of God. Theo is Greek for God, Most High. Philos is friend. The person to whom Luke addresses his gospel in the book of Acts. So, you know, the scholars will tell you that that was his name, that was his pen name. Friend of God, Theophilus, a Christian, Theophilus. A Christian to whom Luke inscribed his gospel in Acts of the Apostles. All right, it says Luke 1 verse 3. It seemed good to me also, having had perfect understanding of all things from the very first, to write unto thee in order, most excellent. He mentions the name Theophilus again. Let me do something. Well, I'll come back to that. Okay. Theophilus, of all that Yahushua began both to do and teach. Now you notice, you go back to Luke 1, Luke 1 and 3, I believe it was. He mentioned the word perfect. They had the perfect understanding. That's why we say you got to have 100% truth. You have to have perfect understanding. And you got these other Israelite groups that do not have perfect. They have a lot of understanding, not perfect understanding. And Bishop Nate does not have perfect understanding. He had no business going out there to Kenya if he ever came across Acts 1 verse 8. When you open up a world map, bear me for a minute. So you have no business teaching the scriptures if you don't know the scriptures. You can't learn a 25% of the Bible and then, I know the whole script, all the scriptures, and then you wing it. That's exactly what he's doing. He constantly changes. 2.5, 3 years ago, he wasn't teaching that there was an eternal hell, that your soul burns in forever. Now he teaches that. So you know, this whole thing is catching up to him. That's why he went to Kenya talking about 12 tribes worldwide. 12 tribes worldwide. He went to Kenya and almost got killed out there. They could have killed y'all. Y'all in another country, man. And you think Trump is gonna help you? Trump can't stand you. Trump is a goddamn racist. Okay, so where did I say? Okay, map. I just put in map. Of the world. Go to images. Let me open this up. I need a bigger picture. Let me take this one. Okay, so this right here is our homeland. This is Egypt. We went to the wilderness between the two Gulf of Suez and Gulf of Akbar. Edom here, Moab, Ammon. We were up here. This is Jerusalem, Palestine. Okay, this is where we're from. The apostles, Yahushua and the apostles just stayed here. They you know, Galilee, Nazareth, and so forth. Now, the apostle Paul went up into here, which is Europe, Asia Minor, which is lower. That's Asia. This is Asia Minor. Lower Asia. He went up in here. He spoke about the barbarians and the Scythians, which the founders of Russia, or the Scythians, which were Jakes. A lot of those Russians are Jakes. So now, in Acts 1 verse 8, it says to go to 4 places: Jerusalem, Yahweh, and Samaria, and to the uttermost part of the earth. This is where we at, and this is Africa. Got West Africa, Kenya, which is within Africa. You got South Africa. That's not the uttermost part of the earth. That's not even the uttermost part of the uttermost part of Africa is right over here. Which is we're not talking about the uttermost part of Africa. It's not mentioning Africa. So the uttermost part of the earth is over here. This is the other side of the earth. Because this is the Far East. You're going in a different direction. And it's not just Canada. It's not South America. Because there's not the truth that Abba was not born in a South American country and opened up the school in a South American country. Neither did he set up anything in Canada. This whole thing stemmed from right here, New York, in Harlem, Black Mecca, and then it went worldwide. It went to the country. Now it's going to other people. But you ain't getting thousands of people in Africa, Israelites in Africa. They're not out there raising hell. The focus, when these people make videos on YouTube coming against the Israelites, he's talking about the Israelites in America, like in California, the Midwest, the East Coast, Chicago, Illinois, those areas. But mainly New York, new places like New York, not even Connecticut, not really even Jersey, even though there's New York, and out here in the West, and some in the Midwest, Chicago area. That's the uttermost part of the earth. So if you're going out there to Canada, No, even though it's the uttermost part of the earth, the focus is here in Babylon, because the deliverance is going to come out of Babylon. Anybody living in whether he's an Edomite or Jake or whatever, if you're living in Canada, when the missiles hit, you're going to be all right. When you're down here in Central and South America, when the missiles hit, you're going to be all right. If you're in Africa, when the missiles hit, you're going to be all right. If you're here, you're going to be destroyed. If you way up in here, you're going to be all right. Australia, they say it is a neutral country. I would say maybe parts of Europe will be destroyed, but not utterly destroyed. But this place is utterly destroyed. That's why the scriptures speak about, to use the term salvation. So when you talk about, I'm going to go to Kenya, I'm going to go to Nigeria, South Africa, nothing's going to pan out. Even though there might be some of the elect there, but they'll get it through the web. This gospel shall be preached or published throughout the whole planet. How is that? The IUIC is not going to cover every part. They can't cover every part of New York State. They can't, they can't cover the New York City. So this is why you got rocks thrown at you and tear gas canisters and percussion bombs. They could have killed y'all. They could have killed y'all, killed some of y'all, or they could have locked your ass up. And had you been there for a year, you struggling, who you gonna teach them Hamites in prison? Anyway, let's go over here. We told you guys, hey, you have Tazari like to do these little debates. If you do it for entertainment purposes, you figure maybe that gets your name up there, gets ISUPK name up there. Most High didn't say that. The Most High said when you teach this word, it's not too many words, it's for the elect. So let's listen to this. This was put up by Friends of the Prophets. Now this is from Africa News. They love their white Jesus. They don't want no black Jesus. They could be black as tar, but they when they go to heaven, they don't turn white. They don't mean not go to heaven to turn. I want to turn white. I want to turn to the white man. It says black American preacher. Yeah, that's what he is. He is black. Nathaniel is black. Look at him. He's not white. He's not light-skinned like me. He's black. Black American preacher stoned for saying Jesus was black. The churches in America didn't even stone you, man. They pulled out knives on your ass. They pulled off shoes. It tried to kill you with them shoes. Anyway, so this is Friends of the Prophets. IUIC makes global IUIC makes global African news for almost being stoned for black Jesus. Now you figure they'll say, "Oh, he's black. Oh my goodness, let me follow this guy. Let's tear down him." They like white people, man. They like white people. They like white people. When they die, they know. When they go to the grandmother's funeral, they know when she goes into heaven, she's going to turn into a white woman. She's going to have blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. These are inferior-minded people. So let's let it play. Fair use, fair use, fair use. This is news from Africa. African diaspora news.
Nate known for making national news, right? Out there talking about Jesus. Now these Hamites in Kenya, this done made national news over there. Alright? So yeah, they got it from a different angle. I'm gonna show you, but hey, like we told you, remember Kenya was also involved with that UN situation over in Haiti. Alright? And I told you what they was doing. They was urinating in the rivers. using the bathroom and their water. People over there was catching cholera and different sicknesses. All right. And people complained, and a lot of Kenyans left there that was part of the UN. You see, but they was already over there. So yeah, we're gonna check this out, but this from a different angle. But yeah, them Hamites, they almost stoned 8 men. You see? This truth ain't for
African countries. I don't know if all of them, but those major African countries in the continent of Africa, that what they're into, and that's in Jamaica and the islands, what they're into, they're born black, and they get this bleaching cream, and they straighten out their hair. They want to be white people. They're in their own country, man. They're in their own country, black Africa, but they want to be white. They want to get light-skinned. They want to straighten out their hair. They want to pop them wigs on their head.
Everybody, it's for the elect only. Okay? We're gonna let you hear this right quick.
And speak.
The brother said, the teacher said, this is for the elect only. Might be 1 or 2 elect, handful of elect out there. I doubt it.
Banned in Kenya for preaching that Jesus was black skinned. Let's watch the video.
You can see that whole town came against him. You see the one guy they throwing rocks at him, and they didn't have grenade launchers. They didn't have percussion bombs. That was the cops. The cops was with it. You mean the church had the tear gas canisters under the pew? It was the damn cops. This is what the fuck these niggas coming up in here telling us what the fuck to do. This is our country, man. Y'all gonna get up out of here. See, that's when you quit. I said, nope, pull that t-shirt. He's still wearing that stupid t-shirt. He got hit in the face with a rock. And Bishop Nate wasn't even there.
Kabongo usoni. Kwa kuhubiria watu wetu tu ni watu wa maana na wao ni wana wa Israeli. Na Yesu Kristo mwenyewe ni mtu mweusi kama nyinyi. Akabongo mawe. All of them. We went to a church yesterday. We were teaching outside.
And if you notice, he said in the African tongue, Swahili or whatever language they speak, he said Jesus Christos. Because that's what the white man taught him. Jesus Christ or Jesus Christos.
Church.
And then you got this black man. He called us black Hebrew Israelites. Wouldn't this guy be a black Hebrew? He's black. This guy is black.
I heard Jesus was black. They were infuriated.
First of all, Jesus was not black. He was brown. This is another lie. You bending the truth.
We should have got just reading this old man. They threw rocks. Why? Because a lot of you in Kenya hate yourself. You hate the way you look. You hate anything black. Why? Because it upsets your European colonizers. So they look, we're their brothers. We're here to help you. They start throwing rocks, men and women. They despise what the Bible says.
They start throwing rocks, men and women. A couple of y'all gonna get killed. You're gonna go to some country out there, and them people out there, they gonna grab a couple of y'all up, and they're gonna kill y'all, and maybe lock up some of y'all. This shit never happened in America. You got Edomites, you got racist Edomites that listen to y'all and ain't gonna do nothing like this. Esau ain't gonna do nothing to you like this in America.
So we read Song of Solomon. You read it, right? You see? And they were like, no. Picked up rocks, started throwing.
Well, it's safe to say that the greatest enemy of the black man is his own self.
And see, the apostle and the elders of GMS been warning him for years and years with not using the name My thing is, if you know the Most High true name, why not use his name?
And he does know the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai. And every once in a while, he'll blurt it out, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. But lately, he's just been saying Yahweh. Then he won't say Yahweh Shai. He'll say Christ. He said that when he was in Smyrna or whatever. He said, well, he did a sit down. What do you call that? Tuesdays. Shout out Tuesdays. He had a quill talking about, these people, they changed the name of the Most High because we know his name is Yahweh and the son's name is Yahweh Shai. But then he tells us the congregation cannot say that. They cannot say Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. I dare them to say Yahweh. I dare you. Since you can call him anything, we don't know his name, we can call him anyway, anything. For now on, for the next year, call on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Since you can call him anyway, I guarantee you cannot. That's a bet right there. I challenge any of you guys, and that includes you, Yahweh. That includes you, Kanai Gabar, that's ancient Hebrew. Kanai Gabar is ancient Hebrew. You didn't change that. Yahweh is ancient Hebrew for Joseph. Why don't you just call yourself Joseph? Huh? And Kanai, why don't you just call yourself Kenny? Kenny Geber. Kanai Gabar, that's ancient Hebrew, which Nate said that's Ebonics. Then he made mockery. He called Ebonics. But every once in a while he'll throw the name out there. But like I said, recently he's been throwing out the name Yahweh while Yahweh Shai. But then he just says Yahweh. Then he says Most High and Christ bless. And this is how we knew that Comfy, the Tazadakia, when he changed that name, we said they definitely sold out. They definitely sold out.
It never made sense to me. Everybody knows his name is Yahweh now. All right? Everybody knows that. Everybody knows his son's name is Yahweh Shai.
Yeah,
but they
let's go to all the different groups that came out of One West and the ones that learned from One West and set up their own thing. Sakari says Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Deacon Akar says Yahweh Shai. Her brother Hassan said Yahweh Shai. ISUPK says Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All these different groups that stem one way or another. You had the original One West crowd, then you got these brothers that watched the One West Israelites, former One West Israelites, and they all use all these camps. That's how you know when an Israelite group says we're going to do this in the name of Yah, we know that they're not part of One West, and they don't have the truth at all. Well, they might be one of the... No, they're not one of the elect. If you was one of the elect, you ain't going to call on no Yah. And then you got a lot of them Yah Israelites that don't even believe in the Messiah. Why would you sit down with a Jake that believes in the Old Testament only, believes in the Most High, calls his name Yah, but said it's Messiah? Why would you waste time talking to a guy like that? Just keep it moving. Show me in the scriptures where it says if the person can't get it, stuff it down their throat. It says shake the dust. And you niggas was on dusty ground. All you had to do was jump around like the House of Pain and got to stepping. But they made you step. They gave you some pain. You talking about the House of Pain? They put some pain on your ass. Yo, we're looking like this Skiva and the Seven Sons.
Choose to use it. Okay? So, hey, they got all them damn stones thrown at them. All right? And they should do that back in the biblical days. Okay? You get stoned for different things. All right? So we're going to play that clip one more time. But yeah, this is what's going on that made national news. Okay? And see that one guy in red? Boy, he really mad that that they called Jesus black. He was really mad about it. You see that? But that's what he get for over there prophesying to a whole bunch of Hamites. All right. So yeah, we're gonna get a.
Let me rephrase that. That's what you get for false prophesying, because they're not prophesying; they're false prophesying.
Scripture and leave it there. Stay prayed up, Jake. I'm gonna let the rest of this play. Then get a scripture and leave it there.
Huyu ni mmoja kati ya walioumizwa. Naona hili ni jiwe akagonga usuni. Kwa kuhubiria watu wetu tu ni watu wa maana na wao ni wana wa Israeli. Na Yesu Kristo mwenyewe.
He's spinning his head around like it's a prop. You know, yeah, could you move your head this way because they can see it? He took his head and spun it. I'll make you two-fold the trial of hell. Nigga, turn your head. And he looks like a zombie. These guys look like Hamites, man. I don't know.
Ni mtu mweusi kama nyinyi. Akagonga mawe. All of them. We went to a church yesterday. We were teaching outside. As soon as the church heard Jesus.
What was you teaching? Teaching falsehoods. You weren't teaching them no. If they asked you about hell, you would have said, yep, if you're not right with Jesus, you're going to burn in hell forever.
This was black. They were infuriated.
You see that? Yeah, but because they're not part of the elect. You see that? And a lot of them Hamites. Okay? You don't see them black only Israelites talk about that though. They don't talk about how the Hamite nations that sold us. You never hear them talk about that. But they tell you everybody look like Wesley Snipes and Shaquille O'Neal though. But they don't tell you that it was other dark-skinned nations selling a dark-skinned nation. You see how that works? So we're gonna get a scripture and leave it there. And I'll put this down in the comment section. Listeners, this is Leviticus 24 verse 10. Just the NIV.
Hey, I'm watching Alex Jones right now on Roku. And they're going through showing you a lot of, I'm not going to put the sound up, but there's a lot of, let me see, some guy that looks like an Edomite. I think he went to jail. Okay, release Jeremy Brown. I believe he was like a Navy SEAL. He was he fought for this country, and I think he was involved in the January 6th thing. And you see people protesting in front of the White House and court buildings and so forth. This just showed a picture of a MAGA hat, which means Magi, magician, spiritual black magic. That's what the MAGA means. It's short for magic, black magic. And hey, these Edomites would and see, I'm gonna get back to the main thing. Prophecies are being fulfilled. I was watching the elder out of DC, Monaghan, Elder Monaghan. He was going into prophecies, something to the effect prophecies coming to pass, and he was going into different news articles. And this country's at the point of total civil war. They do not trust. And then these MAGA people, these Make America Great Again, are they're seeing the true colors of Trump. If you notice, Trump, when he was campaigning, he had the MAGA people with that red hats on, Make America Great Again. You notice when he became president, he didn't invite him to nothing. He's out with these super rich guys. So they're waking up to this guy. They're finding out that this guy's full of shit. He pulled a fast one on us, sort of like Hitler. Now, he said the other day, he was talking about how they helping countries. He said, this is what he said. You don't believe me? Go to Google and look it up for yourself. He said he gives all that money that he took from certain, under Doge, He's still giving, and I kept saying, I said, does he still give money, U.S. Taxpayer money to other countries? And yes, he does. He said it yesterday. Let me see. Okay, I don't need this no more. I gave you a map and geography. Donald Trump said he gives $4 billion to Israel. "13 hours ago, stressing the billions U.S. gives in aid, Trump refers to commit to removing tariffs on Israel, because he placed a 17% tariff. They talking about you should pull the tariff back, and he's talking about doing it. And then he says, yeah, but we give Israel a lot of money. We give them he said $4 billion a year. And he said we give money to other. Well, wait a minute. Shouldn't Doge pull that money back? Israel been around for going on 80 years. Talking from 48, 58, 68, 78, 88, 98, 208, 18. We're talking almost 80 years. Military assistance to Israel. So everything's gearing for war. Let me see this. Netanyahu tells Trump that Israel will eliminate trade. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Look at this. Arab Center, Washington, D.C. Trump sidesteps Congress, gives billions to Israel. And not just Israel, but to other countries. So what these people, these MAGA people, and people that follow Trump or follow politics or believe in the American way, they're getting their information not from Fox News and even Fox News is kind of criticizing this guy. And the whole world sees this, man. He's got the whole world angry at America because they're really angry at him. So now we understand. Well, we've been understood this, but now we know why ultimately the European Union nations and NATO nations are going to come in, because he criticized NATO. Y'all ain't paying money and so forth. Y'all ain't paying your fair share. J.D. Vance, he went over there to Europe and he criticized them. Over there in Europe, in front of them. Now we know the Most High put it in their hearts to do so. They're going to drop fire on this place. So any of these NATO or EU nations, which is part of the beast system, which Christians don't even understand, the ones that possess ICBM missiles, they're going to shoot it on Babylon the Great along with Russia. Anyway, let me get back into my thing. So like I said, civil war is right around the corner. I ain't starting it. I ain't telling people to go out there and throw rocks and shoot people and kill motherfuckers. And it ain't going to be necessarily a race war. It's going to be a class war. Why do you think they're burning up Teslas? It's a class. They're coming against Musk. They're coming against Musk. So it's not a white on white thing. It's a class thing. Musk claimed Musk is supposed to be worth half a trillion, and they say he's the richest man in the world, which he's not. And they're coming against him. So these are working class people that lost their jobs. So this guy's really Trump has to be the king. Let me do this. He has to be the king in the cruel Lord. Isaiah 19. Forgive me for rambling, but I'm speaking scripturally. So Egypt right here is referring to, you know what? Okay, so let me do this. Let me just put in Lord. Go right to it. Here we go. Let me start from the third verse. And the spirit of Egypt, or Babylon the Great, shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. So you got Esau looking for answers, man. They're looking for spiritual people that can see the future. It says, okay, the burden of Egypt, Isaiah 13 says the burden of Babylon, right? Same Babylon, Egypt, same place. Behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud in Egypt, and idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. That's when the missiles hit. The heart of the Egyptians, Americans shall melt. They're going to literally melt. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian. That's your wars. Your civil wars, class wars. The lower middle class going against the upper middle class and the middle class, and your elected officials, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. That's Esau. They shall fight everyone against his brother. Democrat and Republican, that's a perfect 50%, half and half. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. This kingdom is divided against itself. I remember as a child, when you had a president, when Nixon became the president, you found out at 9 o'clock at night. You knew the president-elect was Nixon. Kennedy, the president-elect is Kennedy. The president-elect is LBJ. And I believe it was the first time it took a couple of months, if I'm not mistaken. It took a couple of months when Baby Bush against Al Gore. And then every election after that, you didn't find out 9 o'clock. They did the president 9 o'clock at night on election day. Why? Because the votes are so close. So this is a split. This is a split. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. And this is a kingdom. And Trump is sitting as a king. That's why when you call for executive orders, that's the act of a king, where you bypass Congress. And those are temporary laws of a president. Presidents do not make laws, but he's not a president. He's a king. He's the king of Babylon in Isaiah 13. Isaiah 14. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians, civil war, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, Esau against Esau, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel. They're not going to have any ways to get out of this. And they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. That's all. The super elite, they consult with demons. That's also in Isaiah 47 and verse 10 on down. And the Egyptians, which are Babylonians, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. That's got to be this guy. And a fierce king shall rule over them, saith Yahweh, the Most High of the Lord, or Yahweh of hosts. And this is America. It says 5 cities. Let me go to that. Let me go to that. Here we go. That day shall in that day 5 cities in the land of Egypt, which is America, 5 cities speak the language of Canaan. The language of Canaan is Hebrew, so we're speaking it. So Nate's saying we don't know the Hebrew. It says 5 cities in Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan, which is the Lashawan Kodash, the holy tongue, the Hebrew, and swear by Yahweh. So we're going to call on Yahweh in this. There's many precepts on that. We're going to call on Yahweh in this land, and we're going to call on him in Hebrew. How do we know that? Because it says 5. It says 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, Hebrew, and swear. Once they speak this language, then they're going to call on Yahweh. of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction. The city of destruction is Babylon the Great. We're seeing the downfall of this country. And all the nations hate this China. China's got a lot of power. That's the third. Remember when you had two powers, two world powers, America and Russia. Now you got a third world power, China. China has over 1 billion people. I don't know how big their army is. I can go look it up. Somebody look it up for me. Fact checker where you at. But they can build a 10 million man army and sacrifice that army. And that's a drop in the bucket for them, man. You know? Their technology. They got cars that outdo a Tesla. They got a certain battery that it could get almost 600, 800 miles on the charge, and then it takes 5 minutes to recharge. See, once them cars come over here to America, and this is why Trump is blocking it, because it will kill the Tesla, these other cars. China's technology is far beyond the technology here in the States. Can you imagine? You go to a regular gas station. There's 2 cars in front of you. It take about 5 to 10 minutes to get gassed up sometimes. You know, especially if the gas is cheap. It's going to take you about 5 minutes. So can you imagine pulling up and putting, electric car, EV, 5 minutes, you can go another 800 freaking miles? Shoot. That's why you don't have the car. Let me do this. This is called a BYD, and it's Chinese cars made in China, and they can do amazing things, man. They can do amazing things, and they outdo the EVs over here in America. So everything's coming to a head. So don't listen to guys say, "Well, we can be out here for another 1,000 years." He's not one of us. They're not like us. Anyway, let's come on back. Listen to a little bit more.
Now the son of an Israelite mother and an Egyptian father went out among the Israelites, and a fight broke out in the camp between him and an Israelite. The son of an Israelite woman blasphemed the name with a curse. So they brought him to Moses.
When you say Most High in Christ bless, you're blaspheming the Most High. You're calling him out of his name. If I say my name is Jonathan and you say, "Yo, Johnny," the Edomite, I'll say, "Look, bro, my name is Jonathan, not no goddamn Johnny," all right? Oh, it's the same? No, it's not the same goddamn thing. Call me by my proper name. And Jake, they be ready to fuck these. Look, brother, I've been on jobs and I done cursed. I got on the phone and cursed out bosses, man. Calm them the fuck down. I remember I had some packages and I pulled out on the highway. I said, "Look, man, I quit." I said, "Send somebody to come get this shit." "Yeah, but wait a minute, what are you doing? What are you doing?" I told this one guy, I said, "I quit." He said, "What you mean you quit?" I said, "What part of I quit don't you understand?" Because I left his ass hanging out there. Edomites, when they in between a rock and a hard place, they ready to kiss Jake's ass. But Jake likes to kiss this man's ass. You know? But I mean, you got to be cool. You got to feel the spirit out. But we're taking over. Edomite women, at one time they secretly desired Jake men. Now a lot of them is openly desiring Jake men. I'm all over the place, but that's all right too. If you don't like that I'm all over the place, then go somewhere else. Go watch an IUIC video. Okay, you are not a Hebrew Israelite black man. There's another campaign of coming against Israel, and we laugh at it, man. I'm sorry. So now this is what I'm gonna do. You should have stayed your black ass. What's that song that Tony Braxton? You should have stayed your ass home or something like that. Well, Nate, you should have stayed your black ass in America. So anyway, I'm going to give you a couple of precepts. Give you a couple of precepts. I got a handful of precepts for you, but I'm going to give you a couple of precepts. Jeremiah 3:18. Really, you can start from the first verse. In those days, the house of Judah shall walk with the house of Israel. That's talking about now. And they shall come. You know what I should do? I should go to the Bible Hub and see what they say about this. And because there's no record in the ancient world 2,000 years ago of Judah and Israel coming together. And they shall come together out of the land of the north. It's not Russia. It's talking about America. That's where the focus is. That's where the prophets are supposed to be at. To the land that I have given for an inheritance unto your fathers. You know what I got to do? And Jeremiah 3 is a beautiful chapter. It's a beautiful chapter. We got to start. We got to start going into. You can go into them whole chapters. Somebody got to do. I'll do it. Anybody else could do it. Jeremiah chapter 3. Not for that matter. Jeremiah chapter 1, which is an easy breakdown. Jeremiah chapter 2, Jeremiah chapter 3. So what did I say I was going to do? I'm going to go to... Okay, this is what I put in, right? I put in is Acts 1 verse 8 referring to America. AI overview. No. Acts 1:18, which speaks of being witness in Jerusalem and Yahweh and Samaria and to the ends of the earth, meaning the other end of the earth, does not specifically, but they said does not specifically, right? You're not going to see the word America, but we know it's talking about America. It's not talking about Canada. It's not talking about Central and South America. It's talking about right smack dab in the middle, which is the U.S. That's what it's talking about. Does not specify, specifically refer to America. I'm glad they put it that way, but rather uses these locations as a framework for the geographical spread of the Christian message. That's bullshit. The uttermost part of the earth is America, Canada, U.S., Central and South America. But the focus is here in the middle, the U.S. The U.S. It's talking about the U.S. Let me see. Okay, what did I say I was gonna? What did I say I was gonna do? I was gonna do something else. Anyway, maybe come on back. Oh yeah. This is what I said I was gonna do. Okay, we don't need this no more. So Acts 1 verse 8, the uttermost part of the earth is talking about America. It's talking about Babylon. All right, commentary. Bible Hub commentary, which by the way Nate goes to. He followed, I like to wait till Harvey going to the commentary. I'm gonna start going to the commentary too. Then he slipped and said, go to the Bible Hub. Then I got on him about it. Oh, you're following me. Then the next time he went to the Bible Hub, he said, go to the commentary. And they knew, Yuri knew, go to the Bible Hub. Okay, Cambridge. For the reunion of the returning Israel and Judah. All right, Ezekiel 37. By the way, the dry bones in the valley. Where's the valley? It's the same place where the uttermost part of the earth is. The valley in Ezekiel 37 is not talking about Canada. It's not talking about Alberta, Canada. It's not talking about that's talking about America. Isaiah 11. That's talking about gathering of Israel, and part of it is America. So there's no record of Israel and Judah, Yahawadiah, Yasha'al and Yahawadiah coming back together. No record of that. It's happening now as we speak. Ezekiel 37, one of my favorite prophetic scriptures. So we don't got to read no more. Okay, let's do this. Out of the land of the north, the thought of the prophet turned chiefly to the land of the exile of the 10 tribes. The land of the exile of the 10 tribes is where? Over here in America. That's what Esau said that when he encountered the original the natives. He said these are the Israelites. That's what they used to say back in the late 1700s, 1700s, 1800s, especially preachers. But his words, look it up. But his words implied that he foresees a like exile also in the north for Yahawah. So they all gonna be together. In the far off land is the large country in Isaiah 22. The Most High is gonna bring you into a large country like a ball tossed to and fro. That's those slave ships. Everything's got to be written in code. If everything was written word for word, plain English, they would outlaw the scriptures. Everything. This is all in code. We talk in code. But his words implied that he foresee a like exile, which is America, and they're all there. Second Ezra 13 and 41 down. It said they all peaceable people, also in the north for Judah. And that because Judah came later, right? Yahawadiah came later. In the far off land, is the United States. The house of Judah shall walk to rather than with the house of Israel, because the house of Israel been in America. Now Judah came over. The kingdom of Yahawadiah came over here in slavery. So they're coming together, seeking its alliance. They're gonna come, alliance meaning come together, asking for reconciliation, right, to come back together. Remember the split? The two kingdoms got split, so they're gonna come back together, and both should once again dwell in the land of their inheritance. Oh, when this place is destroyed, we're gonna go back to the land of Israel, and we're gonna rule the whole planet. This is beautiful, man. I got a handful of precepts, which I'm not even going to go into. Another one is, let me go to maybe one or two more. Jeremiah, I got here a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got like 20 precepts. Let me see. Jeremiah 16 and 15. I think we start at Jeremiah 16 and 15. Oh, because this place is done. The only thing left is the MOTB, which, if you're not teaching about the MOTB being the micro C hip, the Yahawah B'Shem Yahweh Shai is not dealing with you. So guess what? In order for you to know, for someone to know that the Most High is dealing with you, you got to deal with the whole book. You can't say, well, I don't understand that book. So is the Most High, Yahawah B'Shem Yahweh Shai, dealing with Nate? Nope. Is Yahawah B'Shem Yahweh Shai dealing with Captain Zarak? Nope. Most High is not dealing with them. Because Luke said, everything in perfection, I got the perfect understanding. They don't have the perfect understanding. They got a lot of it, but they don't have 100%. Now this computer's acting up. Jeremiah 16. And 15. Normally start at 14. Start at 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh liveth, that brought up the children of the sons of Israel out of the land of Egypt, which is ancient Egypt, but Yahweh liveth that brought up the children of Israel from the land, not the lands, the land. The land of the north is the United, it's not Canada, it's the US of A. That's where the great deliverance is going to come at it. If you have elect, what you do have elect scattered through the world, they're going to be beamed up too. But we're going to be beamed up to not to be destroyed. And from all the lands, right, and from all the lands whither he had driven them, and I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers, your inheritance. So what's the land of the north, Bishop Nate? What is it? Kenya? Is it Nairobi, Kenya? No. Is it Nigeria? Is it South America? Or South Africa? No. Is it the Bantu land? No. You might have, you may have a couple of elect here and there, of course, but the main bulk of the elect will come out of America because they have to be delivered. Let me give you one more. Zechariah 2 verse 6. Zechariah 2 verse 6. So Esau, enjoy the little time you got left on this planet that you done made into a wilderness, because you done, and you're going into captivity. Ho ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north. Kenya is not, Nairobi, Kenya is not, or whatever part of Kenya you went to, is not the land of the north. Papua New Guinea is not the land of the north. The Solomon Islands is not the land of the north. Nigeria is not the land of the north. Babylon the Great is also known as the land of the north. Saith Yahweh, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith Yahweh. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelt with the daughter of... Ooh-wee. Who you dwelling with? And for you flea Israelites out there, the flea doctrine, like this knucklehead from the GOCC, Rakar, he said back in 2009, oh, you got to get your passports and you got to flee. And simple ass simps followed his ass, followed what he said, and went out to Egypt, and they ran out of money. They had to get a job making $2 an hour, and they had to talk to family members and get their black asses back. Because you were listening to this cursed be the man that trusteth the man. This is beautiful, man. This is beautiful. I'll give you one more. I'm going to give you one more. Isaiah 24 verse 16. Isaiah 24 verse 16. You're not going to hear this in church. 24 verse 16. How does he know how to pull these scriptures like this? Because I got a list in front of me. Now, when I was young, I memorized all them scriptures. I memorized them too, but not like I used to. Them seven, they say, where that scripture? They come to me. Oh, where that scripture? Where is so and so and such and such. Isaiah 24 verse 16. From the uttermost part of the earth. That's not Papua New Guinea. That's not the Solomon Islands. That's not Smyrna. That's not South America. That's the U.S. That's not Nairobi, Kenya, where they believe in a white Jesus. You ain't gonna change their white Jesus. From the uttermost part of the earth have we heard songs. Ain't nobody in Kenya singing no songs about Israel. The song about Israel. This goes hand in hand with Revelation chapter 14. There's many scriptures on it. They sung a new song which no one can understand and sing except for themselves. From the uttermost part of the earth, that's America, have we heard songs. Even glory to the righteous, which are the Israelites. But I said, Malinas, woe unto me, the treacherous dealers have dealt treacherously. Yea, the treacherous dealers have dealt very treacherously. And now I can read on, but I'm not. That's talking about Esau. He's treacherous. And it says in Isaiah 30 and 33 and 1 on down, it speaks about him when he's, matter of fact, let me go to that now. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna drop the mic on this one. Isaiah 33. Woe to them, woe to thee that spoileth, and thou was not spoiled. That's Esau. Esau had that power, that sword. That was Isaac gave him the sword. And he said this is the way you're gonna get your blessing. You're gonna have to kill people and take what they got. That's your blessing. And dealeth treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. The nations are gonna come against thee. And when thou shalt make an end to dealing treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. And this was happening with the cruel lord of Babylon, of Egypt. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom on to the next. Sorry for going long. Shalom.